Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're putting you right in the hot seat. Imagine this. You've just been hired as the brand new project manager for Chirongomuna Construction. You're taking the helm of a massive commercial development. And your very first assignment? Managing a highly complex site infrastructure phase. We're talking millions of dollars on the line here, and the entire downstream schedule rests completely on your ability to master what we call the critical path method. To really get a feel for what's at stake, let's drop right down into the dirt. You are now responsible for all of this bustling activity. Think heavy machinery moving earth, trenches being dug for utilities, concrete trucks rolling in, and multiple crews working simultaneously across different zones. Kind of chaotic, right? Well, without a rock-solid plan, just one delayed concrete pour or a single missed utility trench could trigger a massive domino effect. It could literally bring this entire site to a grinding, incredibly expensive halt. So your job? Bring perfect order to this chaos. To make sure this development stays right on schedule, we're going to follow a straightforward 5-step roadmap. 1. Your assignment. 2. Mapping activities. 3. Visualizing the diagram. 4. Finding the critical path. And 5. Calculating total float. Let's kick things off with step 1, your assignment and phase deliverables. So as the new PM, leadership expects 3 very specific deliverables from you before a single grain of dirt gets moved. You need to draw the network diagram for the project, determine the critical path, and finally, calculate the exact total project duration. Now, don't write these off as just academic exercises. These are absolutely crucial. They're the core blueprints of your project's timeline. Moving right along to step 2, mapping activities, where we'll look at the raw data and scope. Okay, so this simple table, it's actually the secret code to your entire operation. Now, I know at first glance, a list of activities A through G might just look like an overwhelming spreadsheet of chores, but look a little closer. We've got the description of every single task, everything from site clearing to final site stabilization. We have the duration in weeks for each step. And maybe the most important part, we have a column labeled predecessors. Let's break down exactly how those predecessors actually dictate your reality on the ground. A predecessor is basically just a task that absolutely must be finished before the next one can even start. Take step 1, site clearing, which is activity A. It doesn't have a predecessor, so it kicks off the whole project. Step 2 is rough grading, activity B. Its predecessor is A. Obviously, you physically cannot start grading the earth until the site is actually cleared and grubbed. Makes total sense, right? But then things get a bit more complex. At step 3, both trenching, which is activity C, and pouring concrete, activity D, share the exact same predecessor, B. That means the second rough grading is done, your project splits. You can have 2 entirely different crews out there working at the exact same time. Now for step 3, visualizing the diagram, specifically the precedence diagram. So we take that spreadsheet and transform it into a clear visual flowchart, usually called a precedence diagram or an activity on node diagram. Imagine how activity A naturally flows right into B. Then remember that critical fork in the road after B finishes. One path heads up into trenching, utility installation, and backfilling. That's activities C, E, and F. Meanwhile, a completely separate path drops down to activity D, where they're pouring that massive concrete foundation. Eventually, both of these paths merge right back together at the end for activity G, final site stabilization. Mapping it out like this completely changes how you understand the project's flow, doesn't it? It makes it real. Which brings us to step 4, finding the critical path, or finding the longest path. To actually find the critical path, we have to pit our possible routes against each other. Based on our flow, we really have 2 ways to get from the start of the project to the finish. Path 1 follows that top route, activities A to B, then C, E, F, and finally G. If we add up the durations of those specific tasks, so that's 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2, we get a total of 18 weeks. But let's check path 2, that bottom route, A to B, down to D, and then straight to G. Adding those up, 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus 2 gives us 15 weeks.
So what does this all mean? Which one is the true timeline for your project? The 15-week path or the 18-week path? Well, in project management, there's a golden rule. The longest path through your diagram is actually your critical path. It sounds a bit counterintuitive, right? But here's why. It dictates the absolute minimum time required to complete the entire project. Even though path 2 only takes 15 weeks to run its course, that final site stabilization, activity G, literally cannot begin until the 18-week process of path 1 is 100% complete. So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is the number 18. 18 weeks. That is your unyielding bottom line project duration. If anyone, say your boss or the client, asks you how fast Chirongomuna construction can get this site infrastructure phase done, your absolute best case scenario is 18 weeks. No way around it. And finally, step 5, calculating total float, which is really just finding your wiggle room.
Let me tell you, total float is a project manager's best friend. By definition, it's the amount of time a non-critical activity can be delayed without pushing back your final project completion date. Think about it. Every single task on your critical path, that entire 18-week route, has absolutely zero float. If one of those tasks slips by even a single day, the whole project slips. But the tasks on the shorter path, well, that's exactly where you find your flexibility. Let's look at activity D as an example, pouring the concrete foundation, which sits on our shorter 15-week path. To find its total float, we just take the total duration of the critical path, which is 18 weeks, and we subtract the duration of the path containing activity D, which is 15 weeks. Simple math, right? 18 minus 15 leaves us with exactly 3 weeks of total float. But what does that math actually mean when you're standing out there on a real-world construction site? It means you can delay pouring that massive concrete foundation by up to 3 full weeks, and it won't delay the opening of the commercial development by a single day. So if your concrete supplier suddenly has a shortage or if a massive storm rolls in, you don't need to panic. You have a 3-week buffer built directly into the DNA of your project schedule. But, and this is a big but, the very second that delay hits 3 weeks in one day, activity D suddenly joins the critical path, and your 18-week deadline is officially blown. And that brings us to the ultimate question you really have to ask yourself. You got the diagram, you know your absolute minimum timeline is 18 weeks, and you know exactly where your 3 weeks of float are hiding out. But knowing the critical path and actively defending it day in and day out, those are two very different things. If the site clearing equipment breaks down on day 1, your entire 18-week timeline shifts backwards instantly. Are you prepared to manage that critical path and keep this multi-million-dollar site on track? It's a massive challenge, but with these tools in your back pocket, you are totally ready for it. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep building smart.